What's up, everybody? Tim Anderson here, aka Renfell. Welcome back to another episode of Mondays of Middle Earth, and today we are on to chapter 6 of book 6, which is Many Partings here in the Return of the King. This is when everyone starts to go home, go their separate ways. The war is over, the king has been crowned, everybody's alive, theoretically, technically. Not everybody. I mean, Boromir didn't make it, but for the most part, all of our main characters are here. And we're now going to be getting towards the Scouring of the Shire section of the book, which is one of my favorite sections as I remember, because it really is, the hobbits coming home and finding themselves changed and not being these timid little farm boys that they used to be. I don't have a lot of memories of this chapter other than this is just, sort of a leave taking for everyone. So we'll see how this goes. I don't know if this is going to be a short episode or a long episode. As always, if you're new here, Mondays in Middle Earth is the show where I've been reading through The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, and we're going to be getting to the Silmarillion at some point. Every week on Monday, an episode comes out, usually at 9 a.m. Central. They started out at 11 a.m. Central, and then we moved it forward to 9 a.m. Central. But each week is dedicated to a chapter of Middle Earth. So hopefully you like all that stuff. And if you do, please support the channel. Memberships here on YouTube start at $2.99 a month. So for $3 a month, you become a supporter. You can also do super chats and stickers on these premieres, or you can do super thanks on the uploaded videos to support that way. And we have a Patreon page if you want to get involved over there as well. In the meantime, let's dive into chapter 6 of book 6, Many Partings. So it doesn't actually say how long has passed here. It's very interesting. It just says when the days of rejoicing were over. At last the companions thought of returning to their own homes. What's interesting here is that it says when Frodo went to the king to tell him of this, it says that Arwen was by the fountain singing a song of Valinor, and the tree was growing and blossoming. Um, and I just found that to be a very interesting note because Aragorn even talks to him and says, the tree grows best in the land of its sires, but for you in all the lands of the West, there will ever be a welcome. And he goes on to talk about how, your people are now going to have renown no matter where they go. So the hobbits might have been unknown before this, but now they're going to be famous if I have anything to say about it. And Frodo tells him, yeah, I'm ready to go back to the Shire, but first I want to go back to Rivendell. I want to talk to Bilbo because Bilbo didn't come. All right, hang on. I gotta deal with the kitty cats. They're being a little aggressive here. I should show you guys. So I've got the green screen set up now, but I'm gonna pan you over and ruin the illusion here. I'm trying to set up different ways of things, and he's just being a little aggressive to his little sister. He's cleaning her, but then he's like, watch his feet. Yep, yep, yep. There he goes. Hope you guys can appreciate that. Now, I thought it was just because Bilbo was too old to make the journey, but Arwen actually says something here. She's like, um, why are you wondering at the fact that Bilbo's not here? You know the power of what it is that you just destroyed, and Bilbo had it for a lot longer than you did. And basically, when the ring got destroyed, his aging started happening like that. And he was old to begin with, and now he's just really old because it just hit him like a freight train. And basically, he's just waiting because he's never going to make another long journey, save but one, and that's the one that's going to happen when he gets to go to the Grey Havens, which is really cool. Now, again, I don't know how much time has passed between the crowning of the king until him, but Aragorn does say, "In 7 days we will go, for I shall ride with you on the journey as far as Rohan." So that's cool. So he's going to go with them a bit. But this is where he tells Frodo that you guys are always welcome in Gondor. And I wish there was something I could give you to match your deeds, but whatever you desire, you can take with you, because you guys are princes of the realm. Now Arwen has a gift for him, and she says, "I am the daughter of Elrond. Um, I shall not go with my father now when he departs to the havens, for mine is the choice of Luthien. So she has, and so has, so as I can't read that properly, as she, so have I chosen both the sweet and the bitter." I needed to read that verbatim because I couldn't get the words out on my own. But she says, "In my stead, you shall go, ring bearer, when the time comes, if you desire." She's giving permission to Frodo at this point, saying, "I'm not going to go to the Grey Havens because I've given up my immortality, but you get to go in my stead." Um, Really cool. And then she gives him a white gem, um, Really cool. So this is a really funny moment where Amber finds Gimli and he's like, "You need to get your axe, man, because there's this debt between us. Because there were certain rash words concerning the Lady of Galadriel, right? And I've now seen her with my own eyes." And Gimli's like, "Well, what do you say now?" And he's like, "Alas, I have to tell you that she is not the fairest lady that lives." And Gimli's like, "Then I must go get my axe." But Amber's like, "Hey, man, look, in my defense, had I seen her in other company, I might have been able to say that, but now I have to say that Arwen Evanstar is more beautiful than Galadriel, and I am ready to do battle on my part for any who would say otherwise. So shall I call for my sword?" And Gimli's like, "You are excused. You have chosen the evening. I have chosen the morning." It's just, it's just a funny little thing where it's like, "Hey, better go get your axe, buddy. We got to settle this." And then from here, they rode out to Anorian, to the Grey Wood at Amundin. And it says, "There they heard a sound as of drums beating in the hills, though no living thing could be seen. But Aragorn let the trumpets cry and yelled, 'Behold, the King Elisar is come. The forest of the Draadan he gives to the Ganburigan and to his folk to be theirs forever. And hereafter let no man enter it without their leave.' And it says, the drums rolled loudly and then went silent." So he's giving them their land, which is a really cool thing for him to do, so that there's not going to be any conflict anymore with those people. So they're taking Theoden here through all the way to Edoras. It says 15 days passed for the journey, and another 3 days for them to prepare the funeral for Theoden. So this is a pretty epic burial sequence because of just the culture of Rohan. Um, so there's a lot of explanation here about what's going on, as well as um, the voice of Arrow crying out about the battle and singing this poem. And it says here, "Mary stood at the foot of the Green Mound and wept. When the song was ended, he rose and cried, 'Theoden King, farewell. As a father you were to me for a little while. Farewell.'" A whole list of names here from a minstrel and lore master. All the lords of the Mark, from Errol the Young all the way to Aemir, King of the Mark. So culture is a very important thing to the people of Rohan. This is a very important part because Eowyn looks into the eyes of Aragorn and says, "Please wish me joy, my liege lord and healer." And he answers, "I have wished you joy ever since the first time I saw you. It heals my heart to see you now happy." Because he could never give her what she wanted, and I think there was this unspoken, you know, I've been in that position. Not to say that every man has been in that position. Um, Many people, I think, have been in that position at least once in their life, where someone wants to have a relationship with you and it's just not going to happen because of other reasons. Maybe you're in a committed relationship, maybe it's just not the right person for you. And it's always better to, if you can remain friends, it's great, but wish that person the best and try to find a way to, um, you know, help that person move on without being cruel. And I think this is a great way to do that. So really cool stuff here. I really appreciate this part of the chapter. It also is this moment when Eowyn, or excuse me, this is also the moment that Arwen has a last meeting with her father, and it says, "None saw the last meeting, but it was bitter, that they should endure beyond the ends of the world." So it's not a happy parting between Elrond and Arwen, and I think that they did a really good job in the film. I really think they did a good job in the films showing, Elrond's reluctance to let Arwen become married to Aragorn because he doesn't want to see her fall into mortality. Um, I mean, it's described in the words of the book, but I think it came across visually much better in the films than it does here in the book. So this is when they give a gift to Mary. He gets an ancient horn, small but cunningly wrought of fair silver with a baldric of green, with a swift horseman running in line that wound about it from the tip of the mouth, and there were runes of great virtue. That is a cool gift. Really cool. Made by the dwarves, and came from the hoard of Scatha the Worm. This is where Legolas repays his promise to Gimli and visits the glittering caves. It says, when they returned, he was silent, and would only say that Gimli alone could find the words to speak of them. And Gimli said, Never before has a dwarf claimed a victory over an elf in a contest of words. Now, therefore, let us go to Fanghorn and set the score right. And from here, they went to Isengard um, and beyond. Ooh, and as they come to Isengard, Gandalf wants to know, what about the task that I set to you? How is Saruman? Is he not weary of Orthanc yet? I doubt he thinks that you have improved the views from his window. Oh, Treebeard gives Gandalf a long look, almost a cunning look, Merry thinks to himself. And I thought you would come to that. Weary of Orthanc, yes, yes, weary of Orthanc at last, but not so weary of his tower as my voice. It says, and this is great because Gandalf's like, I'm paying attention to the way you're speaking, Treebeard, and with great care you're saying, dwelt, was, grew. What about is? Is he dead? And Treebeard's like, no, but he left 7 days ago. I let him go. He crawled out along with that worm creature of his. And don't yell at me, Gandalf. I promised to keep him safe, but things have changed since then. A snake without fangs may crawl where he will, and Gandalf's right, but this snake still has one tooth left, and he had the poison even of his voice, I would gather, if he managed to persuade even you. Oh, but now the Tower of Orthanc can go back to the kings where it belongs. But Aragorn gives the valley to the Ents. Quickbeam has the key and hands it back to Aragorn. He takes the key. Oh, this is great when they actually have the parting with Aragorn. He's like, "Do not forget, Peregrine Took, that you are a knight of Gondor, and I do not release you from your service. You are now on leave, but I might recall you. I'll never forget also that my realm lies in the north, dear friends of the Shire, and I shall come again there one day." Nice. Nice. Very cool. Oh, I don't remember this at all. It says on the sixth day after the parting of the king, they were coming through a wood climbing down from the hills at the feet of the misty mountains. And they overtook an old man leaning on a staff, and he was clothed in rags of gray or dirty white, and at his heels went another beggar, slouching and whining. It's Saruman. And Gandalf's like, "Where do you think you're going?" And he replies, "What's it to you? Are you still going to order my goings? Are you not content with my ruin?" Oh my goodness. This is awesome. But Gandalf says, "Are you going to scorn our help? Because we would offer it to you." And Saruman's like, "Yeah, not going to happen. I prefer your frowns." Says, "Had I been warned of your pursuit, I would have I would have denied you the pleasure." I love Galadriel tells him, "We have other errands and things that are more important to us than hunting for you. Say rather that you were overtaken by good fortune, for now you have a last chance." And Saruman's like, "If it's truly the last, I'm glad, for I would be spared the trouble of refusing it again. All my hopes are ruined, and I would not share yours." And it says, for a moment his eyes kindled. Hmm. "What ship will bear you back across so wide a sea?" he mocked. "A gray ship full of ghosts." Oh, and then he yells at Wormhome, "Get up, you idiot! If these phone folk are going this way, we're going to go another. Get up, or I'll give you no crust for your supper." Poor old Grima, always beaten and cursed. How I hate him! How I wish I could leave him! And Gandalf's like, "Then leave him." But it says here, Wormtongue only shot a glance of his bleared eye, full of terror at Gandalf, and then slunk after Saruman. Ooh, this part about, "So you've come to gloat too, you my urchins," as he looks at the hobbits. Ooh, and there's some foreboding here. Mary actually gives him some pipeweed. And Saruman says, "It's going to serve you right when you come home if you find things less good in the Shire than you would like. Long may your land be short of leaf." Mary's like, "In that case, I'll have my pouch back, please. Wrap the weed in rags of your own." And Saruman says, "One thief deserves another," turns his back on Mary, kicks Wormtongue, and went away into the wood. Oh my goodness. I had forgotten all about that interaction with Saruman. Back to Rivendell they arrive. And it says, "Before they had eaten or drank or even shed their clothes, they went in search of Bilbo and found him in his room, looking very old, but peaceful and sleepy." "Oh, you've come back. Tomorrow's my birthday, too. How clever of you. Do you know I shall be 129? And in 1 year more, if I am spared, I shall equal the old Took. I would like to beat him, but we shall see." So Gandalf says he's going to come with them, at least as far as Bree, because he wants to see Butterbur. And Bilbo then gives Frodo his mithril coat and sting, forgetting that he had already done so, and 3 books of lore. Translations from the Elvish. He gave Sam a bag of gold, the last drop of the Smog vintage, he says. Ooh, and then he gives 2 beautiful pipes to Merry and Pippin that the elves made for them. Ooh, he asks about the ring, and Frodo's like, I lost it, Dilbo? Sorry, I almost made a faux pas there. What a pity. I would have liked to see it again. Oh, the road goes ever on and on. Out from the door where it began. As Bilbo murmured the last words, his head dropped in his chest, and he slept soundly. So this is when Elrond tells Frodo as they're getting ready to leave. He says, I think, Frodo, that you'll not need to worry about coming back unless you come very soon. For about this time of year, next year, when the leaves are gold before they fall, look for Bilbo in the woods of the Shire. I shall be with him. It says these words no one else heard, and Frodo kept them to himself. So, next chapter is Homeward Bound, which we're going to be getting into next week. So, as always, like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update as we continue to do this Mondays in Middle Earth series. Thanks to those of you who have been following along since the beginning, because we're about a year into this, I think. I need to go back and check when I actually started this series because I don't really remember. Support if you can. Memberships, super chats, super thanks, all those good things. Hopefully we'll see you in Discord as well. There is a section of Discord set up to discuss Mondays in Middle Earth if you would like to have greater discussions about this. In the meantime, happy journeying, everyone. See you in the next episode. Cheers.